So before we talk about the liver, I want to share with you an amazing success story that I just got. Check this out. Now this was sent to me by someone by the name of Genevieve Sylvester. And this person is a sonographer, someone who uses ultrasound to help evaluate different organs like your liver or kidney, abdomen, etc. So you're putting sound waves in the body to help visualize what's going on the inside. Dr. Berg, I'm a sonographer, and I've seen it all. About 9 months ago, I had a young woman come in for an ultrasound of her abdomen because her liver enzymes were elevated a lot. Her liver was looking beyond just fatty. It was dense in what we describe as difficult to penetrate. She grew up on processed foods and pop. We chatted a bit and I told her my thoughts on the food industry and its devastating effect it had on humans. Fast forward 6 months later, same patient came back for a follow-up and looked at a previous study before scanning her again. I put my transducer, that's the thing that you actually rub on the outside of the skin that sends sound waves, on her abdomen, and I actually thought I had the wrong patient. Previously, her liver measured 19 centimeters, that's enlarged, and now it was 14 centimeters, which is normal. I asked her if she had changed her diet, and she said yes. She changed over to keto after we talked about it to see what would happen. I then asked her if she watched anyone on YouTube, and by the way, I was going to send her your information, but she said some doctor named Berg. But my results stopped a few days ago, so I was going to stop. I said, no, don't. I'm going to show you why. So I showed her what her liver looked like 6 months prior compared to what it looks like now. She started crying, a happy cry. I didn't tell you yet, Dr. Berg, but I work at a native reservation where everyone's liver is at least fatty and 80% of the population is type 2 diabetic. This young woman, mid-20s by the way, was on her way to diabetes. She was so excited and she left knowing she healed herself like her ancestors before her. She told me she was going to watch more of your videos and continue to heal. And she did say her brother has started when she did as well and had some encouraging results with him too. So there, my story of a young woman who literally turned her world around and ended her family curse of getting diabetes. Thank you so much for your wisdom. Wow, talk about a success story. And by the way, now on our site we are actively and aggressively accumulating success stories, and I desperately want your success story too. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos to share these success stories, but I thought it'd be great to share this amazing success story with you before I talk a little bit about the liver. Now, a lot of people that have a fatty liver also have diabetes. So what is the connection? The connection is they're both caused by the same thing, usually, and that would be insulin resistance. Now, what causes insulin resistance? Too much insulin. Anytime we have too much of a certain hormone going into a receptor, the receptor will protect itself against this excessive communication by becoming resistant or downgraded. That's what insulin resistance is. It's a compensation. So now when we get a resistance to this hormone, then the signals don't get back to the pancreas. So we get this lack of return communication. It will be similar to someone wearing earplugs as you're talking to them and they're not receiving your communication, so you're going to start shouting to them, right? Same thing happens with insulin. If we get this resistance at the receptor level, at the return communication, the pancreas doesn't get that acknowledgement, and so it starts to put out more and more communication. And so hormones are communication, so now we have a situation where we have the receipt part is not receiving, and the communication part is excessively communicating, and that's only going to go so far to the point where now the pancreas is going to get tired, it's exhausted, and it's like, okay, I'm done with communicating. That's when we get diabetes, okay? So now we lose the function of insulin, which is the regulation of blood sugar, and so now we get nothing to push the blood sugar down, so the blood sugars go up and up and up. So with all this insulin now, which is a storage hormone for glucose, and all this carbohydrate that originally created this high insulin, we're going to get a fatty liver. And so 25 to 46% of the population has a fatty liver. And so when the liver becomes fatty, it spills over into the other organs and around the organs, around your gut. That's called visceral fat. So if you were to look down right now and you see something protruding out, like your belly is protruding out, chances are you have a fatty liver. If you had an ultrasound, you probably could see that you have a fatty liver. So what can you do? Very simply, if you're new to my channel, click the link down below because I have a whole plan for you. Number one, you're going to get on healthy keto. You're going to cut your carbs down. You're going to bring your sugars down to 0. Number two, you're going to stop snacking, okay? Because every time you eat, you trigger insulin. And then you're going to start doing intermittent fasting. So you're going to drop your breakfast, do just 2 meals for right now. And then I would also recommend adding choline to your diet because choline can help you speed up the process to get this fat off the liver. Now, just as a side note, artificial sweeteners, okay, like in diet soda, can also create insulin resistance. But overall, this is the plan. I highly recommend you do it so you can also have a success story like this young lady. Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to give you a little quick history on some of the books that I wrote. This was one of the first books. It's called Dr. Berg Body Shapes. It was my attempt at writing about body types. What was very interesting about this book is I actually did all the images myself. Don't ask me why. They look actually not quite as professional as some of the images that I have in the new book. But anyway, this is my first attempt right here called Dr. Berg's Body Shape Diets. And then I wrote a book more extensive called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. I don't even have a copy anymore, actually, because it's outdated. The next book, I put about 1,000 hours into this one right here called The New Body Type Guide. Major updates on the body types. I put a lot of energy into this. It has professional images, graphics, all sorts of things. Now, the problem with this book is it doesn't really describe what this is really about. Body types are only a small portion of what's in this book. And that's why I changed the name to the Healthy Keto Plan, okay? If you happen to have this book, you don't really need this book because there's only very, very minor updates. But if you don't have this, you need to get this one right here. This book goes into every single detail that you would ever want to know about. It goes into the 7 principles of fat burning. It goes into hormones, the body types, the basic keto plan. It goes into intermittent fasting. I talk about the 10 fat burning triggers and blockers and fat burning strategies with a lot of details in every single chapter. I go into body issues that interfere with losing weight. There's very few people that just have a weight problem. They have a lot of body issues, whether it's sleeping problems, stress problems, inflammation, menopause. I cover that extensively in this book. Then I talk about how to get rid of stress, and I show you a technique. Then I get into exercising. And then I have a lot of really good recipes in this book as well. So this is a good reference guide. On my website, if you get this book, you get this one free. It's called Healthy Keto Intermittent Fasting. This is the shortcut, quick guide to this book. And the reason I created this book is to have you, within 45 minutes, learn how to do keto, okay, in intermittent fasting, exactly what you need to do. Then you can fill in the blanks with this book right here. So right now I'm doing a special. If you get this book, you get this one totally free, or you can go to Amazon and get these individually. So I just want to clarify the difference between this book and this updated one right here. If you don't have this, you need to get this right here. That way you can get the exact correct information to do it healthily.